Welcome back to Aging and Awesome. You probably recognize Trudy Larson. She's been a part of the community forever.
Long time.
Yeah, you have been, right? You're
Yes.
in the public eye for public health.
Yes.
You know, always. Okay, so it's the 25th anniversary of the Hopes of Northern Nevada. Northern
Yes,
Nevada
it
Hopes,
is.
right? And you were on the ground floor when this whole thing started, right?
I was. It's an interesting story, actually. We started seeing HIV patients at the county health department in 1990. It was the Board of Health knew that it was a problem that was really starting to show itself. So they allocated funds for about 50 people. We had 100 the first year. And it clearly became evident that the health department was not going to they couldn't manage this, right? And then the medications started coming out. They were expensive. They just couldn't do it. So we did a community engagement process with all the partners. And they recognized that it was not cost effective to do it in the hospital, so we needed a clinic. And ultimately, the brainstorming led to the creation of HOPES, which is a 501c3 nonprofit community clinic.
Right.
It was originally dedicated to doing AIDS and HIV care.
And it was originally like in a house. I mean, it was like in a small building.
It was a little building over by Renown, which was then Washoe, and they gave it to us for $1 a year to grow. But that's sort of where it started, with a very small group, basically. And we were always funded. I mean, I think this is a really critical part, because it was the Ryan White CARE Act that was passed that provided federal money for these clinics. And part of providing clinical care, you had to do this as part of the grant, is you had to offer other services. So it wasn't just medical care, but these funds would pay for your medication. You needed to have connections to social work so that they could have assistance with their housing and assistance. You had to offer what we call wraparound services. You know, so all the things about social determinants of health. And our patients were extraordinarily vulnerable. You know, not only were they gay men, but they were substance use disorder patients who were addicted to their drugs and living on the streets. They were folks who couldn't speak English. It was just such a broad group. And I have to say, and I will say this always, is I learned so much from my patients, because that's not the world I grew up in.
Right.
So for me, HOPES has always been about serving people where they're at, which is still our motto. Wherever people are at, that's where you serve them.
That process has become adopted by a lot of other places now.
Yes.
It's been recognized as the way to treat people.
It is a way. So that's what's so interesting about this. So the funding said you have to offer these services. You have to have case management. You have to have nurses that can help people, you know, wander through things, navigators, essentially. Right. And so we perfected that way of doing work. So HOPES has always been about serving a community that didn't always get served. Right. And providing the services that they needed to be successful.
Where they need them.
Where they need them. It's right there. And so they can do all their things in one spot. Seriously, the outcomes are so wonderful to watch. It's really remarkable.
It's quite a success story. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your vision coming to fruition, and congratulations on 25 years.
Oh, I think it's a marvelous thing to be able to celebrate.
Thank you so much, Dr. Trudy Larson from Northern Nevada Hopes.